The black American Express card hit the marble floor with a soft metallic clink, and in that moment, my 12-year marriage died. I should probably start from the beginning, but honestly, that card falling out of Sophia's purse was the beginning. Everything before that was just me being a fool. It was a Tuesday morning, nothing special. I was drinking coffee, scrolling through emails, while Sophia rushed around getting ready for work. She kissed my cheek. God, I can still smell that perfume she wore. And her designer bag slipped off her shoulder. Credit cards, receipts, lip gloss, all scattered across our kitchen floor. And there it was, Marcus Wellington. That name burned itself into my brain the second I saw it. "Who's Marcus Wellington?" I asked, holding up the card. The way her face went white, the way she snatched it from my hands like it was on fire, I knew. Deep down, in that place where your gut tells you things your brain doesn't want to accept, I knew my life was about to implode. "Nobody," she said, too quickly. "Just a client's card. I was returning it." Since when did my wife return client credit cards? Since when did she have clients at all? Sophia worked part-time at a boutique marketing firm, mostly handling social media for local businesses. She definitely didn't handle anyone's personal finances, but I let her leave. I sat there in my kitchen, coffee growing cold, watching her BMW disappear down our tree-lined street, and I let her leave with that lie hanging in the air between us. And that's when I made my first mistake. Actually, no. My first mistake was trusting her in the first place. This was my second mistake. I went straight to our bank account. Before we go any further, welcome back to Revenge Stories with Kyle. And if this is your first time watching any of our videos, we encourage you to hit that subscribe button. Your support means the world to us, and it motivates us to continue creating even more powerful stories for you. So stick with us to the very end. And if this story moves you, drop your comments and share with a friend. Now let's dive back in. $847. Our savings account showed $847. Last month, it was $45,000. I stared at that number until my eyes watered, scrolled through transaction after transaction, designer boutiques, expensive restaurants, a jewelry charge for $3,400, all on dates when Sophia claimed to be working late or out with the girls. The checking account was just as bad, down from $8,000 to barely $1,200. I called in sick for work, spent the entire day going through every account, every credit card statement, every financial record I could access. The picture that emerged made me physically nauseous. She'd been bleeding us dry for months, maybe longer. By evening, when Sophia came home humming some tune and talking about her difficult client, I had a choice to make. Confront her immediately with what I'd found, or dig deeper and see just how bad this really was. I chose to dig deeper. Best decision I ever made. The next morning, I drove to the seediest part of downtown and found myself in the cramped office of Rick Torres, private investigator. Ex-cop, kind eyes, and a handshake that said he'd seen worse than whatever I was about to tell him. "I think my wife is having an affair, and I think she's stealing from me." Rick didn't even blink. "How much do you want to know?" "Everything." 3 days later, Rick slid a manila envelope across his desk. "You're not going to like what's in there." He was right. I didn't like the photographs of Sophia entering upscale hotels with Marcus Wellington. Silver hair, expensive suit, the kind of man who looked like he belonged on a yacht. I didn't like the pictures of them at restaurants where the wine cost more than my monthly car payment. I didn't like seeing Marcus pay for jewelry while my wife tried on pieces that cost more than some people make in a year. But what I really didn't like was what Rick told me next. "She's not just having an affair. This is a long-term financial operation. They've opened joint credit cards using your information, taken out loans with your credit score as collateral. Your wife has power of attorney on some of your business accounts, right?" I nodded, my mouth too dry to speak. "She's been systematically transferring money to accounts only she can access. By my calculation, she's moved close to $200,000 over the past year." The room spun. $200,000 gone. That's not the worst part, Rick continued. She's planning to disappear soon. My sources say she's been looking at properties in Costa Rica. No extradition treaty. I sat in my car outside Rick's office for an hour, staring at those photographs. Sophia laughing, Sophia happy, Sophia in love. Just not with me. My phone buzzed. A text from her. Working late again tonight. Don't wait up. Love you. Love you. The words felt like acid. I drove straight to the bank. Yes, this is David Martinez, account number 4475. I need to freeze all accounts associated with my name immediately. That night, while Sophia was supposedly working late, I worked too. I sent emails to lawyers, bank officials, credit card companies. I built a fortress around what was left of my assets. And then I did something that probably saved my financial life. I hired a forensic accountant. The accountant found things even Rick had missed. Shell companies, offshore transfers, a level of financial manipulation that spoke to months, maybe years of planning. But the real kicker came in an email forwarded to Sophia from a Costa Rican real estate agent, a beachfront villa for $180,000. Cash purchase, closing date the following Friday. She was giving me one more week of lies and stolen kisses and I love yous before she disappeared forever. The next morning was when the fun really started. Sophia came downstairs in full panic mode. Her usual composed demeanor had cracked completely. The cards aren't working, none of them. The bank says our accounts are frozen. I kept making coffee like nothing was wrong. That's strange. Identity theft, maybe? David, this is serious. I have payments due today. Important payments. What kind of payments? The question hung in the air. She realized she had said too much. Just bills. Regular bills. Then her phone rang. Marcus Wellington. She stepped into the living room, whispering urgently, Everything's frozen. He must know something. No, I can't access any of it. What do you mean move up the timeline? Move up the timeline. They were going to run sooner. That's when I stopped playing defense and went on the offense. I called my forensic accountant first. I need everything you found compiled into a report, today. Then I called the IRS. I'd like to report suspected money laundering and tax evasion. You see, Marcus Wellington wasn't just some rich guy having an affair with a married woman. Rick's investigation had turned up a pattern. 3 other married women over the past 5 years, all with similar financial schemes. Marcus was a professional, a predator who targeted married women with access to joint accounts and business finances.
But Marcus had made one crucial mistake. He'd used my accounts to launder money for his real estate deals. Money that he definitely hadn't paid taxes on. The IRS agent, Patricia Hayes, was very interested in my documentation. Very interested indeed. While the federal investigation kicked into gear, I decided to have a conversation with Marcus directly. I found him at an upscale bar downtown, drinking alone and ignoring his constantly buzzing phone. Probably Sophia trying to reach him in a panic. Marcus Wellington, I said, taking the seat beside him. He turned, suspicious. Who's asking? David Martinez, Sophia's husband. I've never seen a grown man go that white that fast. He started to stand. Sit down, I said calmly. Have a drink. We need to talk. I don't know what you think you know. I know about the Costa Rica property. I know about the $200,000. I know about your wife Patricia and kids Emma and Jake in Connecticut. That got his attention. He sank back onto his bar stool. I also know about the IRS investigation that's about to become very uncomfortable for you. I slid Agent Hayes' business card across the bar. You have 2 choices, I told him. Disappear voluntarily or disappear involuntarily when they arrest you for fraud, money laundering, and tax evasion. Marcus stared at the card like it was a death sentence, which, in a way, it was. "What about the money?" he asked. "Consider it tuition in a very expensive lesson about choosing better partners." He finished his drink in one gulp and left without another word. I never saw him again. If you're enjoying this story, hit that subscribe button now and share with friends. Moving on. But the real confrontation was still waiting for me at home. I found Sophia pacing frantically in our living room, trying to reach Marcus. When I walked in with 2 glasses of wine, she looked up with desperate eyes. "You look stressed," I said, offering her a glass. "I'm fine, just work stuff." "Sophia," I said, sitting across from her, "we need to talk." "About what?" "About Costa Rica, about Marcus Wellington, about the $200,000 you've stolen from our accounts." The wine glass slipped from her hand and shattered on our hardwood floor. "How long have you known?" she whispered. "Long enough to protect what's left of our assets. Long enough to make sure Marcus won't be meeting you at any airport." She stood up shakily. "Where is he? What did you do?" "I gave him the same choice I'm giving you. Disappear quietly or face the consequences publicly. You can't prove anything." I opened my briefcase and pulled out Rick's manila envelope. Bank records, photographs, hotel receipts, phone records. Marcus's statement to the IRS this afternoon was also very illuminating. He gave a statement? Turns out, when faced with federal prison time, loyalty becomes very flexible. Sophia collapsed back into her chair. The fight went out of her completely. "What happens now?" she asked. "That depends on you. The money you moved to private accounts, I want it back. All of it." "David, I can't." "You can and you will. Or I press charges and you can explain to a jury why you systematically robbed your husband blind while planning to disappear to a non-extradition country." It took her 2 hours to transfer back $127,000. That was all that was left. Marcus had spent the rest. I told her, "You'll work to pay back what's missing." "Work?" "You have skills, Sophia. Real skills. Not stealing and manipulation. Use them." Over the following months, she did work. Interior design consulting. She was actually good at it. The money slowly came back. But the marriage? That was over. We both knew it. 6 months after that morning when the credit card fell out of her purse, we sat in my lawyer's office signing divorce papers. Cordial but distant, like business associates dissolving a partnership. "No hard feelings?" she asked as we signed. "I think we're past feelings of any kind," I replied. On the courthouse steps afterward, she extended her hand formally. "Goodbye, David. Goodbye, Sophia." She walked away and disappeared into the crowd. I watched her go, then called Rick one last time. "I need you to keep an eye on Sophia Martinez for the next few months. Nothing dramatic. I just want to make sure she doesn't fall back into old patterns." A year later, I got a text from an unknown number. "David, it's Sophia. I wanted you to know. I'm engaged. To someone honest this time. I think you'd like him. I hope you're well." I deleted the message without responding. Marcus Wellington got 18 months in federal prison for tax evasion. The other charges, fraud, money laundering, conspiracy, were dropped as part of his plea deal. He lost his real estate license, his Connecticut home, and his family. His wife divorced him while he was in prison. Sometimes people ask me if I feel bad about what happened to him, if I think I went too far. Here's the thing. Marcus Wellington was a predator. He targeted married women, manipulated them into betraying their spouses, and systematically stole money that didn't belong to him. He did it multiple times, to multiple families. He destroyed marriages and financial security for his own gain. I didn't destroy his life. I just made sure he faced consequences for destroying other people's lives. As for Sophia,
I hope she really did find someone honest. I hope she learned something from everything that happened. But mostly, I just hope she stays away from other people's bank accounts. The Black American Express card that started it all, I kept it. Not out of sentimentality or anger, but as a reminder. A reminder that trust once broken changes everything. A reminder that sometimes the person lying beside you in bed every night is the person you should trust least. And a reminder that when someone shows you who they really are, you should believe them. And when they try to steal everything you've worked for and disappear to another country, well, sometimes the best revenge isn't getting mad. Sometimes the best revenge is just making sure they don't get away with it. If you loved and enjoyed this story, do not forget to hit that subscribe button, like this video, and share it. Until our next update, take care.